it was.
Yeah.
It was Kimmel. It was on Win Ben Stein's money. What did Chris Hardwick do on MTV? He did something on MTV.
No, he did Singled Out.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
With
Yeah,
Carmen
totally.
Electra.
Are we live?
We're on now.
Oh, hey!
Hey!
We're here talking about Singled Out and Win Ben Stein's
Hi,
money.
guys.
Hello.
We're going to talk spoilers. We're going to talk spoilers for the movie Ready or Not. Good. Glad to know it.
I almost said Ready Player One.
Did you guys see the comment on the previous show where he said like he wasn't gonna go see this movie, but now he is? Like you guys,
cool.
You guys sold him on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
To make you spend money you didn't want to spend.
But this particular episode that we're doing right now, you shouldn't be watching unless you've already seen it.
That's true. Yeah, big spoiler warnings here.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's talk some spoilers. All right, here we go. Welcome. Are you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting ready to do the hey like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
play to the camera.
Yeah.
Very
All right,
nice.
so let's try it again.
Welcome to the SiftSpoil. This is for Ready Player One. No, it's not. Ready or not is what it's for. We're going to talk about some spoilery things. So if you haven't seen the movie, not only may we ruin it for you, but you'll be a little confused because we'll probably jump around. It's not like we go in order. We're going to hit any hanging threads, romances, jokes, Easter eggs, cameos, deaths, resurrections, or post-credit sequences for the spoilers for Ready or Not.
They all die?
possibly.
I guess that's the first spoiler. Yeah, pretty much.
They all die.
Pretty much they all die.
Yeah.
Boy, I sounded like Seinfeld when I did it. They all
They all
die.
die.
Except for our hero, Samara.
What's the
leaving.
deal with
What's
crossbows?
the deal with crossbows?
Yeah, it is a mystical, magical power, and the movie leaves you hanging for the entire movie until.
But what a great payoff.
Oh, what a great payoff! Because it gives a few moments of space for them to be like, oh, maybe this isn't.
Yeah.
Maybe we're fine. Maybe we're gonna be okay. And then they just all start exploding, which is just absolutely amazing.
So a breakdown of the premise for this movie, spoiler-ish, is that every new member of the family that gets married into the family, on their wedding night, they have to play a game that is decided from this random generator box thingy.
Well, it ain't random. I mean, it is the whole reason they're rich people, right? Like the idea.
Well, I mean, like the actual card they get.
Oh, yeah.
is random.
Yeah, sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's a deck of cards within this box, and there's only one bad card that can be drawn, and it's the hide and seek card.
Mm-hmm.
And if that card is drawn, then all the other members of the family have to hunt down the new member of the family and try and kill them before dawn. Otherwise, they believe the devil will kill them all before sunrise.
There's a great SNL possible sketch here where she draws something else, like Crazy Eights or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then the whole sketch is them trying to make her believe that if she had drawn hide and seek, they would have had to kill her, and she just not believe. She just thinks
Yeah.
thing they're just pulling a big
No,
prank.
seriously.
No, seriously, we would have killed you if you
Yeah.
drew hide. Like that whole idea that these other people drew other games and
Yeah.
like how they feel. Like one of them was told before.
Yeah.
What was going on and was like, yeah, I'm in because I want this money. You know, that was the wife.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just, I don't know. There's almost a really interesting look at maybe what happened with the other people. Like, what is that like? What is that like if you draw hearts or something, and then you're explained, well, guess what? We would have hunted you down and murdered you if you'd have drawn hide and seek. But it's only happened once in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Now make it twice.
Yep. So, what was I going to say? Don't be a servant in this movie. Because the running gag is that you will accidentally get killed throughout the entire film.
Oh, man.
That was a great
crushed
running
by a
gag.
dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
Shot with a crossbow. Yeah.
What was the other? Oh,
gun.
Blow your eye out with a pistol.
Well,
with a
that's how she discovered what was I really like how the movie did that because she discovers what's really going on, which she has to. If this plot's going to work, she has to know what's going on. And
Because the family accidentally shot them.
well, it's at the same time that he is telling her that her husband is telling her what's going on, and she needs that to believe him. So the movie understands that it has to be both. He both has to be explaining to her what's going on, and she needs proof. And it does it naturally. It doesn't feel forced. It just feels like a natural way for that to have happened. So I think the movie does really good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the husband, because I think that is one of the big negatives.
Yeah.
And it's almost unfortunate, but it's a negative because their chemistry and relationship I thought was so good.
Yeah.
Like I really bought into how much he loved her. So much so that when he turns on a dime at the end,
You're like, what?
it makes no sense. Not only is it heartbreaking, which heartbreaking is fine. It should be heartbreaking.
It's not earned. Like
It's
you
not
said.
earned. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate.
Because he was willing to die for her throughout that entire movie. But at the end, whenever he's actually faced with it, he's like, nah, let's just go ahead and kill
But
her.
Adam Brody's, a character path makes a lot more sense. Like it feels real.
Yeah.
So I was really disappointed with that. I get that the movie's setting it up. You don't have to tell me about how the movie is foreshadowing it. I saw the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
His mom is telling him, about coming back to us, and the I'm guessing aunt with the axe.
Yeah.
The aunt with the axe is like, he has to be
Tradition.
the leader. He's the one that saw the guy in the chair.
Mr. LeBeau
Who, by the way, gives that nice little wink and nod at the end when the fire kind of starts or takes over or whatever. I thought that was hilarious.
When she starts laughing as they all start blowing up,
Yes.
it's one of the most satisfying or gratifying, like, yes, you earned
Well,
this.
and what a perfect ending where the fireman comes up to her. She's sitting on the stairs.
In-laws.
She just says in-laws and we cut to credits. Like,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do.
Covered in blood. She somehow has more blood on her than Carrie did in the Stephen King movie.
Oh, man. Yeah. It is definitely one of those movies where it's funny. There's just a lot of those moments. What are some of the funny moments we can spoil now that we can talk about?
I love when she punches the kid in the face after he shoots her hand. Like, that's just great.
Yes.
Oh, but then it leads to the nail, like her using the hole in her hand. The Jesus moment, the nail.
That was one of the cringe moments that I didn't feel was as earned as some of the other ones. There are some other cringe moments where I felt like she had to do that. Like that one, I don't know what it was about it, but
I just got the shivers thing. Yeah.
I don't know. There was something about that one.
It was very Home Alone-ish.
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah. Which I get that this movie borders on slapstick. It really does at times. Yeah. And it's trying to do that, but that one, for whatever reason, didn't strike me as, I don't know, as good as the other moments like that.
Yeah.
There's a moment where she's squeezing through the iron gates and is cutting up her back.
Yeah.
That was good. Like, that was done so well.
And then she just goes off on this sailor swear rant after those people drive by.
Okay, so this is one of those things, and let's talk about the things in the movie where it's just like, okay, that's not realistic. Because you mentioned there were several things in the movie that are just, if you stop to think about it, you're like, one of those things for me is how loud she is through this entire movie, even though she's trying to hide from these people.
Yeah.
Even though you're in pain, if you know death follows a scream, you find a way to stifle it.
Yeah.
Especially in that moment where she's just mad because the car drove off, and she goes on like a, like you said, a screaming tear for a minute. It's like your life is on the line if you get found out here. I don't know. That was one part of that where if I want to sit in it and sink into it, that I go, that doesn't make any sense. Shut up. You know?
I do love when Jessica Roth does that in Happy Death Day, where it's this like screaming tirade that's so funny.
Yeah,
you're right.
It is hilarious.
It doesn't fit in a movie like this.
Don't get me wrong. It's hilarious.
So funny.
It's just if you think about it, it's just it's kind of stupid. Well, very stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My whole they did this because they need the movie to happen character decision.
Yeah. Tell me about some of those.
The wedding in general. Mm-hmm. Like, if he knew this was a possibility, why did he decide to go ahead with the marriage?
Yeah, I mean, the movie touches on it. I think we're just supposed to buy that it's just in him in some way. That it's just part of who he is. And again, it had only happened once in his lifetime when he was a kid, and the odds are against it. And I don't know. I think we're just supposed to believe he thought there was a way for him to have her and his family and not have to make that choice. I think that's what we're supposed to believe. But I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, like, because movie needs to happen.
Well, and also if you have that kind of relationship, the movie tries to sell us on the fact that he wouldn't tell her, but I think he would have told her. Like, I think they would have made that decision together, and she would have known about it. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just being optimistic in how I view that kind of stuff, but
maybe it's
because she has to find out at some point anyway, and she's going to be mad that he didn't tell her before, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if it's me, if I'm in Samara's shoes, which we need to learn the actual character's name instead of just calling her the.
We can call her Samara. Give Samara some pub.
If I was her, and then my significant other, who I just married, said, "By the way, if you would have drawn this card, we literally would have tried to kill you."
Right.
Do you really expect that I would have stuck around after hearing that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, at some point, the math you're doing is a little weird if you think, the character's name is Grace, by the way.
Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, another thing that really drove me crazy. Every single member of the family, after she goes to hide in the beginning, and they play that vinyl, of the hide and go seek song.
That was great.
Yeah. They all start grabbing weapons off of the walls and stuff like that. Later in the movie, she goes back into that same room, grabs a gun and a full thing of ammunition, and that was the only one where the ammo was for decoration.
It was dummy ammo, yeah.
Really?
Well, I think the idea was, this one doesn't bother me that much. I mean, they kind of explained it as, like we're going to leave actual ammunition in there. So the family knows which ones are real and which ones aren't, So, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't seem completely out of left field for me.
That one really irked me.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it did lead to a great hot tea smack on the face.
What did you think about? I'm thinking back on some of the more slapsticky moments.
Yeah.
That for me is not what I loved about the movie. It was a little too much for me, but are fine and okay. What did you think about the grandma trying to get the words out and keep getting interrupted by the gurgling dying servant?
Very Austin Powers-ish.
Exactly. Yeah. There are those moments where we go on almost into parody, right? Yeah. And when the movie
she just like screw it and goes over and cuts her head off. Yeah.
When the movie tiptoes into parody, it doesn't ruin it for me, but I'd rather it hadn't. I'd rather it felt. Yeah. I mean.
Those are the moments I cherished, actually.
I don't mind the comedy. Like, I don't mind that it's funny. I don't mind the tone is funny. But there are moments where it just kind of teeters on a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
I guess it just never went over the line.
And I don't know that it actually did go over the line for me. It's like I could feel it approaching something that was a little much for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It certainly didn't ruin it for me.
I think the fact that this movie the ebbs and waves of it just going back and forth between very gross and very funny, it never stayed in one aspect too long. It was never ha 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 funny for a long time, or it was never really gory and gross for a long time. It would go back and forth until the end, when it was both, where people started exploding because the sun came out.
I also think it's very convenient that Adam Brody found poison that works exactly for the amount of time it took them to escape, but no longer. It's just like
they're gonna poop weird for a week or something. Like that.
Yeah, it's like, this will completely knock them out for 30 seconds so that I can get you out of here. But then we need them back on us. So
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like just because I just did it. We just send Futurama. And there's this moment where Leela falls into the time machine, or not time machine. It's not a time machine. It's a cryogenic chamber, and it automatically sets to 1,000 like it did for him. And he dials it back because he doesn't want her to be in there for 1,000 years. But he dials it back to 5 minutes. Like, if you want an escape, dial it back to a day. She's gonna be fine after a day. Like, she can lose a day, but no, he dials it to 5 minutes because that's the amount of time for the show to be able to continue. Yeah. That's what the poison felt like for me. Was like, it's a 5-minute acting poison that I just happened to have.
Yeah.
So anyways, that kind of stuff always tweaks me a little bit. But yeah. Anything else?
Did you think that the curse, like the devil, the whole thing was real? Or Like, did you like? No.
Oh,
these
like
people
what
are
was
just
I
cra-
thinking?
Yeah, like, did you think that these people were just stupid and crazy? Like,
The movie does a great job at holding that information because it was something where I was completely open to either way.
Yeah.
And completely believed either was possible.
Yeah.
And that's not an easy trick to pull off. So I don't know that I have an answer because I think it's so well balanced.
Yeah.
I went into that going, okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
And I always, I shouldn't say always. In general, I prefer the more authentic version that feels more real to the world I live in. Which is the non-mystical people blowing up, people not blowing up version.
the devil exploding.
The devil exploding people version. But at the same time, that's not this movie. That's not the movie this wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that they went the other way.
But there was a good portion where you thought, oh, when they open those curtains and they're all like, ah.
It was hilarious.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny either way. That's what's genius about it. It's funny either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really fun movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
So Samara Weaving was in Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is very similar as far as like the
the slapstick horror.
Yeah. Yes, I almost wonder if she got this part just because of that.
I think
tryout that she did.
I think they wanted Margot Robbie, but they couldn't afford her.
Can we call slapstick horror slap stab?
Stab stick.
Stab stick.
Something like that. Yeah, stab stick. That's probably even better.
I like it.
Well, whatever the case, this is a fun one.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything else I really need to focus in on.
Don't go see Angel Has Fallen.
There you go. Spoilers for Angel Has Fallen. You made a mistake watching it.
Yeah. Ha!
All right, we will catch you next week. Probably no spoiler episode next week.
We can't really spoil the Summer Sum game.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil it by giving the results. So
we're gonna do the SiftSpoil first, and then we're gonna do the regular podcast.
But we will eventually be back with some spoilers for something. So
I think Chapter 2 is the next week.
Is it?
I think.
I think it's 2 weeks after that. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm more excited to see that than I thought I would be.
I'm so stoked.
What's funny is I tweeted, and we can finish the episode with this, but I tweeted today that I'm more excited for Downton Abbey than I am at Chapter 2, because I am. And then my second sense of that tweet was, I'm not sure why anybody trusts my movie opinions anymore. And honestly, I feel that way sometimes. I'm like, do you guys know the kind of movies I like? Like, it's funny. But anyways, people took that to mean that I wasn't excited for It Chapter 2. It actually means the opposite. I'm just super excited for Downton Abbey. Like, I actually am kind of excited for It Chapter 2. That cast alone is worth, being excited for. But
I've never seen a single second of Downton Abbey.
I have seen all of it.
Yeah.
And I love those characters. I'm so pumped to spend another couple hours with those characters.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. My wife and I watch it together too, so there's that aspect of it where it's like a thing for us. But anyways, I just thought that was funny on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because totally afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, people will think that just means I'm not excited for It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
And not realize what a dork I am that's super excited for Downton Abbey, because that's kind of the point.
That's awesome.
Anyhow, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Thank you on YouTube as well. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, Your Gaming in the chat says /stick.
Oh,
Slash stick.
That's it.
a
Is
really
it
good
an official thing? Like, people call it that? Or
I think
did we just make it up?
I think he just coined the term.
All right, cool.
Slash stick.
Slash stick. I like it.
That's really good.
Slash. Yeah, I think slash stick is right.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Well done.
Yay.